Is it live? F5, 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 refresh. Falconer reveal, guys. Falconer reveal. Here's everything. Here it is, guys. Here we are. Wait a sec. Okay, I need this. I need to close this. Welcome to the Falconer. Here's everything we can share with you regarding the new Falconer Mastery. We've consolidated the information in one post for your reading pleasure and added some theory crafting from the Maxwell Last Epoch team, which means me, Lizard, Volca, Boardman, Vision, Tarek. Am I forgetting someone? I think I have them all. Lone Star. Wait. I think I have them all, okay? I think I have them all. On what skills and builds might be good on the Falconer, okay? Obviously, anything in this post could be and potentially will be changed for the 1.0 release. You know, EHG always have the choice to like, change numbers or change different things or interactions. So nothing here is completely certain, but it's kind of like 99% locked in, okay? So let's go ahead and go watch the reveal right away.
In collaboration with Maxwell, I present the FALCONER.
Did you see this? It's actually crazy, no?
The FALCONER is the final mastery coming to Last Epoch, making its way to Terra on February 21st for the launch of the game. This subclass focuses on your feathery friend, who's the main driving force behind your skills as a rogue. If you enjoy raining death from above, besting your enemies with a sword, bow, or talon, and swiftly maneuvering the battlefield, the FALCONER brings a completely new twist to minion gameplay. In this video, we're going to show off the new skills and show off cool interactions from the FALCONER. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the different archetypes that the FALCONER offers, followed by showing off some builds that will have guides ready for launch.
Builds!
You might also notice some graphical improvements in this video, because there's a lot of upgrades for launch. Let's have a quick look at the skills you unlock exclusively as a FALCONER. We'll be going over these and their respective skill trees, but if you want a deep dive and more to chew on, head on over to Maxwell, linked below to find out more. Keep in mind, these skills will unlock as you level. Your character automatically learns them after reaching certain thresholds in the FALCONER passive tree. These skill showcases were provided by different Maxwell creators. You can find their Twitch channel on the screen during each skill showcase. I have not seen the FALCONER at all, so this is also going to be my first look and my first impression to everything here. First, we're going to look at Falconery, the skill that actually enables the Falcon. Bina, take it away.
Bina. Alright, so this is the Falcon from the Falconery skill. As you can see, as you walk by you, he just passively auto-attacks everything. He is a minion, and he is invulnerable to any attacks, so you don't have to worry about his survivability or anything like this. He also has access to an active skill, which you can see him dashing his way here through the enemies and killing everything in its path. This is obviously on a cooldown, so you won't be able to spam it, but there are ways to reduce its cooldown and being able to spam it even more. So basically, this is your Falcon friend, which is the main fantasy around the Falconer. To be able to use other skills, you also have to have the Falcon on your hotbar, as we'll see a little bit later, but this is the base ability of the Falcon.
So, Bina, are there any cool interactions that changes the skill a
Wait,
lot?
this one is for you.
So
your Falcon can actually use Acid Flask.
Digital.
So if you go to the left side of the tree
Acid
here,
Flask.
you can actually see that there's Toxic Airdrop, and your Falcon now throws Acid Flask for you. Obviously, this consumes your a portion of your mana cost for Acid Flask. You can max this out so you can throw even more. And then you can even grant him a chance to gain charges when you use Acid Flask. So finally, guys, an Acid Flask buff, and your Falcon has the chance to use it.
I love this.
Next up, we're going to look at Aerial Assault with McFluffin.
Hey, thanks, Diz. So Aerial Assault is a new movement ability, and one of the really cool things about it is it's not your character moving, it's actually your Falcon moving you.
Dude!
So as you go
Called
throughout
it,
the
no?
world and you use Aerial Assault, it'll actually pick you up and throw you in front of where you were, and it can actually throw you quite a long ways, and at the end of it, it will actually do a Feather Burst attack, so it'll do damage to enemies that are in front of you at the very end of the flight that you take, thanks to the bird.
And is there any like big things that we can change on the skill to make it have a different interaction?
Absolutely. So I am a huge fan of shadow daggers, and
Who would have
play
thought?
that probably more than anything else. And this actually gives us a new way to play a shadow dagger build. So if we go up
Mech
here
Muffin actually
and
a
we
fan
take
of shadow
Twilight
daggers.
Strike, we actually get access to Umbral Blades, which has the ability to throw out blades at the same time when the feathers are being thrown out. But those can apply shadow daggers. On top of that, Aerial Assault itself has a node that allows additional shadow daggers to be thrown out for even more damage. So this gives us a way to play another shadow dagger build that's now using the Falcon instead of the typical Blade Dancer. And it does a ton of damage, and you can see all the explosions going off here, and you can build Umbral Blades in different ways to make it spinning blades in front of it, and just allows for a ton of customization even in that small little bit of the skill tree.
Next up, we're gonna do Dive Bomb with
Okay.
Boardman.
Yeah, thanks, Sis. Dive Bomb
Shadow
is the
Daggers,
last skill
Falconer?
that you get access to as the Falconer, and with it, it does a powerful AoE that does a single hit in a big area, allowing you to do great single target as well as clear out huge hordes of mobs that you can round up. One of the sweet things that you can get to do with the Falcon is it has great damage effectiveness, and you can also boost its damage by stacking a lot of your primary stat and by using bow attacks.
So how does this skill work? Do you target a location
How much
and it
damage
slams that
effectiveness do you
location?
think we're gonna have on
Yep,
this?
all you have to do is point your mouse where you want it to go, call it down, and it will fly from the sky, doing its huge damage in a big area.
Do you know what's the lowest you can get the cooldown to?
So the cooldown has a couple of interactions with other skills that actually replenish its cooldown and gives you cooldown recovery every time that you use like traps, for instance, and they explode. You can take off 4% of the remaining cooldown, so you can actually make it be reused really, really fast.
Wow. And is there any nodes on the skill tree we can take that changes this skill drastically as well?
Oh yes, it has a couple of synergies with other skills. For instance, if you go inside the skill tree, you can make it to you can target over here on the right side the decoy, and when you hit the decoy, you can make the decoy explode instantly when the Falcon blasts. So you actually have decoy, you can throw it out. Decoy will then call in all the enemies to target it, and then you can make it explode as soon as the enemies are close by with the dive bomb.
And next up, we're going to see Explosive Trap by Volkit, because the Falconer actually has
Explosive
individual
traps,
skills
guys.
that don't rely on the
You
Falcon as
must
well.
listen to
This is
this.
actually the first skill you can get by splitting into Falconer tree. So you only need 5 points on the Falconer tree to get this skill. It's like a classic trapper playstyle. You can actually do any of the elements as a damage type with this. So you can do fire, cold, or lightning, or even all of those at once. So really cool, like a classic trapper playstyle.
So is that why the traps have different colors?
Yeah, exactly. So I have actually converted this, all of the elements at once, so cold, fire, and lightning, and that's actually the way you can maximize the amount of traps you have at once, pretty much. So basically maximizing the DPS.
There
is
a
there any way
trap
to make
limit.
this skill interact with the Falcon?
Yeah, so it can
Or you
actually
spam
give
it.
pretty massive amount of buffs on the Falcon itself. So basically, you throw traps, and when they detonate, you get buffs on the Falcon.
So are there any big changes you can do in the skill to make the skill behave differently?
Yeah, so you can actually make this skill a bow skill with the blast train node here. So you spec the bow skill here, and then you can also get detonating arrow
Look at
procs
this.
on the skill. So you're gonna be like a fully bow playstyle if you do this.
Here we
Wow.
play style.
Yeah, so you have like massive range, massive AoE. You have procs going like everywhere.
Look at this.
Amazing playstyle, at least in my
PoE.
opinion. Definitely the
Inside
most
of last
fun I've
Epoch.
had in
Am I
LD with
playing
bow
this?
skills.
Wow.
You can also do this without converting it to bow, but I mean, the bow just
Look
makes
at
it
this
so
madness.
good, you know?
That's like explosive arrow on crack.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna start Squirrel, but now I'm not 100% sure anymore. Holy. And the Falconer also has utility skills.
Dude, Ziz
next
was
up, we're
so
gonna show
hyped
up
for this
a
skill.
net ability with Tarek.
Crazy.
Yeah, so Net is going to be a very powerful supporting skill in order to control monsters.
It's just good.
It basically immobilizes regular enemies and is going to also reduce the movement speed of rares and bosses. And as you can see, it also makes your character leap backward whenever you use it.
Are there any different ways we can make this skill completely different?
There is one particular way that is very interesting at the bottom of the tree here. Basically, you're going to convert the net into a trap. And from that trap, it's going to use puncture. interesting part about it is that you can actually use bow attacks with it. So it's actually like a range playstyle.
So are those caltrops that are falling down from the net?
This is also another part of the skill tree. Whenever you use net, is gonna throw caltrops where you use the ability, and it's also gonna use caltrops where you aimed at. So it's kind of like leaving behind dot on the ground.
So now it's basically a clearing ability. As we've just learned, the Falconer offers loads of different playstyles. You don't have
It's
to just be a
insane.
minion build, and you have
I'm
loads
telling
of
you guys.
exclusive skills that you can't use otherwise, and cool interactions with other things. Next up, we're going to look at a build
It's
from Boardman,
insane.
and this is something they'll have a max roll guide, and we'll have a separate video for this before launch, so make sure you check that out as well. Boardman, tell us a little bit about the build.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This build's going to be using a lot of the Falconer abilities. We're going to have Aerial Assault, we're going to have Dive Bomb, we're going to have Smoke Bomb to buff us with our defense, Falcon Strikes, and then we'll be throwing some Trap. Every time that we use Aerial Assault, we'll leap forward. Our Falcon will have a nice Feather Storm that he puts out there. We'll have Dive Bomb to come down and absolutely destroy enemies for single targeted in a short area. And then when you really need, you can have Falcon Strikes go off, which is going to allow us to just have a bunch of attacks on a whole bunch of enemies in a small area. And then whenever you need to buff your Falcon, we can throw out traps. And every time a trap explodes, it's going to give penetration for our Falcon, allowing his damage to scale and get absolutely ridiculous. Due to Dive Bomb having really great damage, a lot of added damage effectiveness and scalers with it, single target is just as good as clearing, so you can go super fast if you just want to speedrun echoes or if you want to take on bosses.
What's the tank on this build like?
It's very tanky. You even get to leech a portion of the damage that the Falcon is doing, and because it does so much damage, you can pretty much always count on a ton of leech coming in to keep you alive.
So Volka, show us more of the crazy bow build.
Yeah, so we're using Explosive Trap as the
Look at
main
this.
skill
Look
here.
at this.
So proccing tons of detonating arrows and icicles from the Rain of Winter bow. Otherwise, it's a classic bow playstyle, so using shift for movement and smoke bomb and some of these utility skills like shurikens for tankiness.
For full clarity, the build we're showing here is actually a marksman. This specs into the Falconer tree to gain access to its skills and passive perks.
Overall, really like strong DPS build. It's really squishy though, so you need to be basically just killing enemies before they kill you. Basically no defense. You don't really need any defense with this build, to be honest, because as you can see, the gameplay is just, well, kind of absurd with the AoE and range.
Let me correct
Maybe you
this.
could,
This
of course,
build will
build
be
some
fucking tanky.
tankiness, but that's kind of the thing with marksman.
This build will be
it doesn't
crazy.
really have much options for like huge tankiness. You can get glancing blow and armor, but yeah, of course HP, but there's not that many options.
So can you walk me through all the skills you're using in the build and what they do?
Yeah,
But
so
this is
Explosive
literally
Trap,
PoE.
main skill, then that's gonna proc the detonating arrow. So we actually don't need to really use detonating arrow manually. So sometimes you need to use it for mana, basically just gaining mana on hit, and then shift for movement, and smoke bomb for basically just some tankiness, some crimson shroud stacks, glancing blow, and then decoy. You can use decoy for basically taunting enemies.
And I guess this build just has single target and farming. Like it's got it all except tank.
Yeah, exactly. It has everything except tanky. As you can see, let's pop this here. These enemies are usually pretty tanky. They basically die instantly.
So that marks the end of the Falconer showcase that we're bringing you here today. Make sure you go to Max Roll as well for a detailed breakdown. All in all, the class looks extremely promising, and it's certainly a very unique way to approach the Summoner and Combat Heavy Hybrid class that we've never really seen in an ARPG before in this way. And a huge thank you to all the Max Roll creators that helped show me this and make this an amazing video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video as much as I enjoyed making it. The Falconer comes out February 21st with the full release of Last Epoch. I hope to see you in Terra, and a big thank you to 11 Hour Games for making an amazing video game and letting us show off the Falconer. And as always, try to die less than I do.
This is crazy, no? Freaking went out to get a falcon to fly on his arm, man. Crazy, no? Crazy. Okay, guys. Okay, let's be real. Out of 10, how good was this, actually? Pretty poggers, no? Pretty poggers. Guys, you don't even understand. You don't even understand. This is only a fraction of what is coming to you guys. Okay. Falconer is going to be absolute powerhouse of last Epoch. So what do we have? We have dive bomb, net, explosive trap, aerial assault, and falconry with its active falcon strikes. Okay. So that was a video. We already have the passive, right? The mastery bonus gives you dexterity. There's a lot of nodes that actually scale with dexterity, like armor per dex, like for example, block effectiveness per dex, the falcon leech per dex, and stuff like that. And your falcon also gets melee damage per 4 dexterity. That covers a mastery bonus. Now the falconer skills. We have each of these skills showcased as well here. So falconry is actually your falcon. As long as you have this skill on your bar, you have your falcon along you. That is an invulnerable minion, and yeah, he's basically, he does these little auto attacks as you walk by. You have its active skill that dashes all through the enemies and does a ton of damage and just clears very well, either for clear or for single target. This is showcasing the feather knife nodes, which he will throw little feather knives. This one is showcasing another way you can spec into it, that just, instead of him dashing in multiple different directions, it just does a big dash in one single line, right? And this one is the acid flask showcase, basically. So your falcon actually throws some acid flask, and then if you throw acid flask, you can refill its charges. This consumes the mana cost of acid flask, obviously, but there is some acid flask synergies there. Was it my idea to do videos with UI off? It was not. It was just a team decision. So I guess falconry, that's pretty much, sums it up for falconry. If you want to have the entire skill trees and embeds, you will be able to go through here. So we talked about falconry. So this is the feather knives stuff. Your falcon now uses feather knives at nearby enemies on a tentacle cooldown, and a portion of your global throwing attack speed is invested as cooldown recovery speed for feather knives. On the left side here, we have the chance for your falcon to do the acid flask things. You got some more damage multiplier, falcon damage per dexterity. So like, as you can see, the falconer actually scales a lot of its things with dexterity. So yeah. So dexterity, more damage. It can drop black arrows. This is the node. There's one node for the kill threshold here. You can get it to actually scale with your own stats as well, with train to hunt. Down here, go for the eyes and expose weakness. You can get, as you use different abilities, it can also get its cooldown back. Just like Boardman said in his showcase, you can get some frailty. So lots of cool things going on with the Falcon. Extremely powerful. This will be like, this will feel good. This will feel good. I can guarantee you this will feel good. Now, explosive traps, okay? Now this is the MVP for me in the Falconer. This is the MVP skill. Now we're showcasing three traps that also have a chance to reproc themselves. And then you can convert it to a bow, so you can like actually have a bow playstyle, like making traps explode as they get on the ground. And this is showcasing the bow with the actual like, you're proccing all three types of traps basically. Wait, no, that's actually with more than three traps. So yeah, this one here, you can have more active explosive traps. You can have trap sprinklers, so whenever an explosive trap detonates, it has a chance to drop a fresh explosive trap, as long as there's an enemy within 6 meters. So as long as there's density, your traps reproc themselves, right? And this increases it so that like the traps drop by the trap sprinkler node, they can now drop explosive trap when there's an enemy within 12 meters, right? And they will also jump at the enemies like that are further away, 12 meters away. So it's just absolutely insane. There is, so what we were seeing here is the static mine with the Trappist and cold snap mines. So whenever you directly use explosive trap, an unconverted explosive trap, and a trap of the corresponding to each conversion node, you have taken a throne at the same time. So these 3 nodes together just gives you way more traps, right? And so you go with this, and then you just win the game. Detonating arrow. When an explosive trap detonates, all other explosive traps now also detonate in a quick succession after firing detonating arrow at the original target's trap's location. Detonating arrow, there is a node inside of it, inside its skill tree, that makes it cost 0 mana. So as long as you can, an explosive trap has a throwing tag. So you can actually reduce your mana cost of throwing with either rings or maybe a staff like Bow's Anarchy to actually have a very, very low mana cost of traps or even 0 mana cost. And all of your detonating arrows, they don't cost anything because they use the actual skill tree for detonating arrows. There's so many synergies you could do. Like this is literally like PoE, like I don't know. This is last Epoch on something, you know. You can also have a chance to inflict them with a spark charge. Like you can get spark charge. There's so many things, guys. There's so many ways. But look at this. What is this node here that has a little ballista on it? What is this? I wonder. Whenever explosive trap detonates, it now has a chance to create a ballista for you. This consumes mana equal to a portion of ballista's mana cost at half the cost. I'll just let that sink in. There will be something with this node. There will be a build where you will have a 0 mana cost trap. A 0 mana cost trap that spawns explosive ballista for screen wide clear. How crazy is this? And we're going to be able to scale its damage even further with a crit avoidance node in the passives. This is going to be insane. Okay? It's going to be insane. Get ready for screen wide AoE with freaking arrow traps and siege engineering. And this is going to be crazy, guys. I can guarantee. And then not only this, right? But you have a chance to gain a stack of Dusk Shroud. Your hits have a chance to grant you a stack of Dusk Shroud. For those that don't know, Dusk Shroud gives you Glancing Blow, and Dusk Shroud also gives you dodge rating, flat dodge rating. So basically, max Glancing Blow, max dodge rating, full screen AoE, whatever you need hits to proc something, you have as many hits as you want. Like this is going to be this is going to be great, guys. This is going to be great. This is going to be the patch where actually fun is allowed in last Epoch. You know how sometimes we say no fun allowed? Well, not this patch. If you want to have fun, there's fun to be had. And then you have this node as well, Sky Signal. It's worth mentioning, which gives you an insane multiplier for your Falcon, actually, right? So yeah, this is going to be great. Let's move on. Let's move on to Net. So Net is actually quite good. Actually quite insane. There, like every single skill for the Falconer has crazy stuff going on. Yeah, and you can see the graphics improving with like every single patch, and this patch is no different, honestly. This patch is no different, and when you actually play the game live, I can guarantee you guys, you will see like a massive difference. You will actually see a massive difference. So Tarek is the one that has messed around the most with net. I haven't messed too much with it. I've done a lot of things like, I mean, I've been messing around a lot with the Falconer, but so if you want to see exactly all of the interactions that you can do, like bleed net is certainly going to be something, guys. And then dropping caltrops, puncture as well. Traps is puncture. Like there's going to be like when using your net, you drop caltrop at your target location after jumping. Um, your net hits an enemy. Now also throw caltrop at your target location where the net hits. There's just gonna be so many things that are going to be insane and so many things to have fun with in this actual patch, guys. And you can also use net if you want as just a support skill. So net basically will always hit. So you can have your net hit cannot be dodged. Then enemies cannot dodge. Enemies cannot avoid crits. You can increase your Falcon damage. You can reduce the physical damage from netted enemies. You can give yourself some attack speed with the buff. There's like a lot of different things you can do with net, and a lot of different ways for damage for support. It's going to be a great skill, and probably a very, very good leveling skill as well. Right now you have aerial assault. So this is the ability. It's a new movement ability. It's a traversal ability, which makes your Falcon grab you and throw you somewhere. Quite funny that we had this mentioned earlier on stream. Digital actually. I wish the Falcon can pick you up and throw you somewhere, you know? It is actually a thing, and there is a couple of things that are very nice for this one. So let's go into a little bit more details. One of the details for this one, okay? Let's go into the note that caught my attention at first, okay? After landing, all of your active ballistas prioritize targets around you and deal more damage per intelligence, as well as gaining increased attack speed. 75% increased attack speed and 2% damage per int. 2% damage per int. I don't know if you guys realize, but finally, ballistas, like turret ballista, I'm not talking explosive ballista. Regular ballistas will have a lot of damage. You stack dexterity, you stack intelligence. You actually go with the boots with experimental affix for minions are teleported to you after you're using a traversal skill. So you use aerial assault. All of your ballistas are teleported with you, and they gain an insane damage multiplier and 75% attack speed. Like, this is going to be crazy, guys. Alongside the passives, alongside building crit avoidance to increase your crit multiplier, alongside the flat damage we get on the tree, the 5% base crit, the minion damage, the shared crit, the shared minion damage. All of your ballistas get a portion of your own stats, and they also get 100% of your critical strike chance and multiplier stats. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, and I can't wait to show you guys. So yeah, other than this, okay, there is like, the shadow dagger stuff. There's a lot of different things you can also do with it, right? With the caltrops here as well, right? Caltrop hits from all sorts have a chance to cause enemies to bleed. There's like so many things, guys. So many things. I'm excited. There is these nodes here that I haven't figured out yet. If we could make them good enough to use to increase ballista, but so like directly using ballista explosive trap with dive bomb, now also consuming your stack of aerial prowess, applying the damage bonus to the ability that consumes them, but you're spamming ballista. So this might be better with something else, right? This might actually just be better with something else. But you can get some haste. You can get like chance on non-crits or chance for buff on kill as well. Like there's a lot of things. You can get some mana back, get some health back. That's going to be nice. It's a very nice move and ability. It's a very nice move and ability. Okay. Now, dive bomb. Dive bomb is that like big hit with huge damage effectiveness. Think of this like the meteor of the Falconer. Think of this like the meteor of Falconer. We're talking huge damage effectiveness. We're talking huge damage effectiveness. Look at this. Look at this. It's cool, no? It looks good. I was right. You're gonna start Falconer? Huh. I wonder. Oh. So yeah, this is pretty insane. This is pretty insane. 500% added damage effectiveness. Dive bomb has a shorter cooldown. I haven't messed too much with dive bomb, to be completely honest. I haven't messed too much with dive bomb, but there is certainly a very, very, very hard hitting build that goes with dive bomb. It is going to be dealing ridiculous amounts of damage, and yeah. Well, we're gonna theory craft a little bit today, maybe. Okay. Falcon leveling, based on what has been shown, I guess you guys can read through these ones as well. So this is like some ideas for leveling, some scaling and mechanics. We have some Falconer builds. So there's like obviously very strong minion based builds, right? Falconry. So we give you a couple of options with all the different skills and what we can do. But we kind of already covered that a little bit earlier by watching all of the skills and just going over them one by one. Obviously, explosive trap, net, or aerial assault, right? So I believe we talk about dive bomb here. Dive bomb, yeah. So lots of cool things. You can read through all of these, and let's finish up with the reveal of the Falconer. We're just another step closing to Last Epoch 1.0 release on February 21st. Until then, the Maxwell Last Epoch theme is in full swing, getting the branch, the final details done, and ready for you to blast the great world of Eterra with our top-notch leveling and endgame build guides and resource guides. All of our guides will be updated to 1.0 on February 19th. Okay? So expect a huge overhaul of like all of the build guides, basically. All of them. Okay? And many new guides as well. Warlock and Falconer are now available on the Daily Planner as well. Stay tuned for more. How good is this? No?